Hello, Fernando. Welcome.
Hello,
How are you?
fine. Thanks, and you?
I'm good, thank you. I had a flu yesterday, but I now better. I feel better.
Excellent.
Yes. And what about you? What have you been up to?
I'm, I, I'm, I have been fine. I don't have until now enfermedades. How can I say?
Any diseases?
Any diseases.
Okay, good.
Yes. Mhm.
Nice. Good. And did you have the chance to watch the video about burnout?
Yes. Yes. I watched the video. Um. Well, I think. How can I say faltan otros compañeros.
Oh, there are other students missing.
There are another student missing. I read in the WhatsApp that uh, two two sorry, uh,
Mosquitoes?
there are many much no how can I say it, many or much mosquitoes,
Many
many
mosquitoes.
many mosquitoes in my house.
Right. You have that's the like an electrical racket, right?
Yes, I'm hunting mosquitoes.
Nice.
Yes, but well, we can start.
Oh,
I think
you prefer to wait until they come to start discussing?
no.
No, it could be.
Yeah,
We could do
it
that.
before it was for for good. How can I say por por cortesía?
Nice. Okay, by courtesy. By
Okay,
courtesy. No,
okay,
but
by
they
courtesy.
should be punctual. They should be more courteous by arriving early, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, yes, I watched the video, and there are a couple of things that seem that seem seemingly interesting. It's in this way I can say que me parecen interesantes.
Yeah, you can, that seemed interesting. It means that we're interesting.
Okay,
But it's not necessarily, you don't want to say that they were interesting, really interesting for you, because they seemed interesting. It's like, oh, they are interesting, but maybe it's not something that that I'm really into it, right? Right.
okay. Yes. Uh, Good evening.
Hello, everyone.
Uh,
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
Welcome, guys.
Well, the things that or the ideas or thoughts in the video that can seem me interesting were uh, first that the narrative about s- about success, ex
Success.
the success and the periods well, and the periods that we need downtime and rest and how can I say divagar? Uh, it's it's uh it's a word that in the video wonder and the need of the and well and we need wonder for consolidate our personality and and creativity. But uh, the about the first the first point, narrative or about the success. It's very interesting because in the video, and I think that it's correct. The in the video, the woman tell that the narrative about the success is that we need work hard to get the success, but I think it's not only about the work hard. There is another factors that how can I say intervienen?
Can you give him a suggestion, guys? Intervienen.
Mm,
If not, it could be there are
Involved.
other factors that you could say that affect or that are involved or that
Involved.
intervene, that are involved.
The Mr. ChatGPT says that factors involved.
Factors involved, okay? Yes, there are other
Factors,
factors involved.
there are another factors that involve the they get success. Like well, I think like lucky, even the contacts that we have or the network that we we were we was created in um and even the education or uh, mm,
Okay. Other
recur
factors, sorry,
mhm, recursos económicos, how can I say? Economic
economic
resources.
resources, yes.
Okay, economic resources. And well, we these factors or these factors sometimes we don't see these factors and only think that working hard we can get the success.
Okay, okay,
So that idea can lead us to the burnout.
right. I think it's an interesting point you make, how the environment also affects our economy and the way we work, etc. So I think that's an important point to discuss in a moment.
And other point is that every person, well, not every person, but we have an idea of success,
Oh,
like have money in the bank, a house, a car. Well, there is a narrative, and we effort to get that, and we forget that there is another things that can create our success or
yes, success.
success,
Okay,
like stability, mental peaceful or
mental peace.
mental peace, family. Well, there is another
Yes,
things
thank you. So they make an effort. We make an effort.
effort. Okay,
Instead, we do an effort, we make an effort. Or
we
we
make
effort is not correct. We make an effort. It's the whole phrase.
okay.
And there
Thank
are
you.
other factors involved, like luck. Not lucky. Lucky is what you are.
Okay,
You
okay.
can be lucky, but you can have luck.
Luck. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And so, guys, as you could notice, Maricruz and Daniel, we are recapping a little bit about the video about burnout. If you have the chance to watch it, can you tell us what you learned from it, a little summary of the video, and what you find more interesting about it. If you didn't watch it, then maybe you can comment on the things you learned from your classmates last session, right? When we were discussing about burnout. So who wants to go?
Which video, teacher? The video that mentioned the week with only 4 days to work, or is it another video? I
It's
don't
in
know.
the slides.
Oh, did I send the
Uh,
wrong link? Did I send another link on the chat about the
oh,
4-day week?
I don't know.
Did you watch that one, the 4-day week?
The
Marika? Yes?
yes, I
Okay.
watched the 4 day week, and yeah,
Mhm.
I I have some
Okay,
notes.
great. You can share about that. I think I sent the wrong link on the chat, but I'm gonna check it out. But yeah, that one is also related to the topic,
Yes,
so it's
it's
good.
related. Yes, the video was about the stress in the jobs, and the opponent, the speaker, Juliet, explained that after a pandemic, the people live more stress, and there are more anxiety, and the people are get burnout, most commonly. And she explained that in some countries they are trying to have only 4 days work week. That means you only work 4 days and you can rest 3 days. And maybe it's a very controversial opinion or idea, because many companies want to the employees work a lot of time. But she explained that in the countries that they are trying this, it is correct to say the piloto, but
Countries where
como
they are, yes, you can say they are doing, they
the
call it trials, when they are
okay,
doing trials. Let me check.
trials with this kind of this way of working, and they are getting good results, a very very good results with the employees, because the objectives are um achieved by the employees, and they are getting all the the goals of the companies, and they are um, doing all the tasks, but more efficiently, and they are happy, more happier, happier because they have more time with their families and to do a lot of things, for example, for their hobbies or for travel, and they are happier, and the the objectives of the companies of in the companies, yes, in the companies, are are similar to the people who work 5 days per week. So they wanted to try this way of working in more companies to try to improve the, mm, how do you say calidad de vida?
Uh, their quality of life,
The
their
quality
life.
of life of the people. And yeah, she also mentioned that this way of working could be a benefit also for the environment, because if people go to work less days per week, the pollution that they generate is less too. So it could be a benefit to the environment too in long term.
Good. Yeah, so that's another perspective, right? from these companies? Yes, I was checking. It could be pilot or trial, pilot tests or pilot projects or trials. Okay. Yes, and I don't know, where did you get the link, Maricruz? Did I send it over the chat?
I don't know, teacher.
Because
I
I think
only
I,
know that I watched that video, but
right,
Uh,
I guess I
in
copy the
in the
title, or
chat,
in the
I don't
chat,
know,
from
in the
this
chat
chat.
in the chat.
from the
Ah, yes, in the chat.
last and the
I copy
other
paste the.
two class
Oh,
behind.
yes, I see.
How
Two
can I
classes
say?
ago, right?
Two
Two
classes
classes
ago.
ago.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, that's true. Yes, I'm seeing it here. Yes, the one that we were discussing, that Fernando was discussing, is a different one. It
Mm,
was on the last session slides, but it's related. At the end, is related. Both parts of the information are talking on ways to addressing burnout, right?
Right. In these two videos, it handled the idea of work. Uh, uh, I don't work only the correct amount of hours and don't work mm, more time that we can resist.
Right. So yes, another.
yeah, and it could be it could prevent the burnout in people, because I guess one of the most important causes of burnout is that you spend a lot of time in your work, and that makes you very stressed. And if you work less but efficiently,
Mhm.
you could feel better, and you could
Yes.
spend time with your family, or doing sports, or doing another things that could be better for your mental health.
Yes. In this video also it's handled the idea of of to be efficient, and many workers want to be more efficient that can be possible, but like as a human beings, it's difficult maintain um, a constant efficiently without without mm, how can I say, sin un detrimento o una disminución. Uh,
Okay, it's difficult to maintain a high efficiency without
a decrease
without a
without a decrease of creativity. We can produce new ideas constantly without rest and 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 enjoy of the other things of the life.
right. I agree, and this is a point that it really highlights the video. And but now let's hear Daniel. Daniel, are you there? If you didn't watch the videos, maybe you can share any experience you have had with burnout, or maybe people you know that have experienced it.
Mhm, mhm. Okay. Well, first of all, hello guys. Good
So
evening. Well, I know well the idea about burnout. I didn't see the video, but as far as I know, this is a really huge problem nowadays. Not well, I think that this happened before than this problem with the COVID. Well, in some cases, in some special cases, with people really uh, oh my God, when you are a bit busy, right? Yeah, people really busy. Uh, I don't know, maybe a CEO of a certain company, things like that. But uh, well, unfortunately, in my case, I couldn't have this opportunity in order to make this new mood. I mean, home office when this happened a few years ago. In that moment, I needed to go to the office as always. Nowadays, this happened, this change, but in that moment, I remember that this problem was, well, I don't know what happened with more people, but in my case and with I saw with more teammates that the stress took talk took us. I mean, with because you saw a lot of news on different social medias or TV shows, things like that, and you always well saw many bad information, always bad news. Well, at that moment, not just us, I mean, in that company, well, the entire world suffered that. But this changed a little bit my life. Well, not just me, obviously, but I consider that in that moment, I I didn't suffer that. I didn't suffer in that moment. But after this, I had many different activities about job. I mean, with different projects, with different things about well, other incomes, things like that. And I had uh, problems with my anxiety, with stress in general. I always at that moment I have felt I have been thinking about well the things that I needed to do when I was uh, watching a video or a TV show, or when I was talking with my couple or with my friends, or when I was cooking or whatever. I always thought about my job, and that I suffer well some episodes about anxiety. I remember I I felt at that moment that I couldn't breathe, um, headache, and other symptoms in my body. Um, I consider that you need to have uh, for your health, you need to have this time for you, this time for you and for your family, for your friends. The leisure time is really important, and well, just try to disconnect to your things about job or about other kind of responsibilities. That is so important. Well, that happened to me, and I know a little bit about it, but I know that there are other um, stories about this really huge problem. But well, that is my case. Just that.
Thank you. So I think we've all have experienced burnout at some point. Many of us. Um, I was going to tell you, oh, my question is, did you know about burnout before you experienced it? This is a general question because at least in my case, I didn't know about burnout until a few years ago, but I
Mm,
had already experienced it, right? So I think the information would have been useful if I had known what burnout was, right?
yes. Well, I know the burnout through I how can I say becario
When I worked as an becario would be like an intern, right?
intern.
Intern.
Okay. Well, I had an intern. Well, I was
I was an intern.
okay. Well, not me. Well, when I was a director of IT area in in a university. I had an intern, and this intern told me that he wanted uh, do its thesis about the burnout, and he start to tell me what is the burnout and what are the symptoms. And when he started to tell me about that, I had how can I say a revelation?
You had a revelation, or there is another word that we
uh,
use.
an insight. I can say
An
an
insight,
insight.
yes. There is another one, but I don't remember it now. When you suddenly realize something. I had a realization, you can also say. Had
Okay,
a realization.
okay, or revelation.
Revelation, yes.
Well, I had a revelation because in this moment, in all these ay, how can I say sucedió?
All this happened
Okay, all this happened in the pandemic
during the
or
pandemic.
in the pandemic. So in this moment, uh, I'm how can I say me di cuenta?
I realized.
Okay, I realized that I am suffering that syndrome because in this moment one of the partners of big partners of the university uh, lost or well, how can I say esto de los un partner fuerte de la universidad no pudo continuar dándonos servicio. Está muy extenso, pero
Okay, he couldn't continue. You mean he worked there?
yes, I work in the
Oh, but I
uni.
mean the partner who did he quit? Did he
Okay,
resign?
it's another enterprise, a provider. That was
Okay.
a provider.
You could say he could no longer work with us.
Okay.
He could no longer work with us.
Well, that this provider couldn't work with us, and my area must to take this work and implement some things about the digital networks. It, it was a very complex thing that connection between the network applications and servers in the cloud. Well, that was very hard. And when my area finished that work, but at the end, I'm finished feeling feeling feel sintiéndome muy mal. How can I say?
I finished, or I ended up feeling very bad or awful.
Okay, I am feeling very bad. I had uh, piquetes. How can I say piquetes in the heart and the
Okay, you mean like a stinging pain,
stinging
stinging
pain?
pain on your heart.
Okay, stinging pain in my heart.
My God,
And
that's
in one moment I think I will die,
oh
but
my God.
I go to the doctor and the doctor tell me, no, you have uh, uh, many stress. You need rest. You need forget the work for around some days, and then you will see that you 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 will be better.
Okay.
And yes, I
Okay.
take a rest and I feel much better. Yes,
Okay. Well, that's
but mm, but yes, it's very hard. It's not only the I how do you say piquetes?
stinging,
Stinging,
the stinging pain. I'm gonna write it here.
stinging pain. I have gastroenteric difficulties.
Like gastric difficult, like okay, and then
Okay.
gastroenteritis. That's
Gastroenteritis and
okay. That's
things about the stress, the
okay.
anxiety. I can sleep.
Anxiety. Anxiety.
Anxiety.
I couldn't. I couldn't
I
sleep.
I couldn't I couldn't
Okay.
sleep. Well, things like that.
Okay. Yes, let me give you some feedback.
Yes,
So my
thank you.
area had to take on the responsibility.
On the responsible.
So had to take on is to, well, actually take something and do it yourself. I ended up feeling awful, just so that you extend your vocabulary. Had a
Okay.
stinging pain in my chest. You can also say chest or heart.
Okay.
And you have a lot of, I wrote this wrong, a lot of, instead of many stress, it's a lot of.
A lot of.
A lot of,
Okay.
not many. Many is for things we can count.
Okay.
And stress is not something that you can measure objectively or physically. So that's why it says a lot of. Many is for things we can count, like many apples, many objects, etc.
Okay.
And also
Thank
forgot
you.
to give you yours, Daniel. You're welcome. When you mentioned, Daniel, about the news, you said you saw a lot of bad news, right? Or bad information, sorry. If we say it
Yeah.
like that, you saw a lot of bad information, it means the information is wrong.
Mhm.
But if you say negative, it changes the context.
Mhm.
But if
Okay.
on the other hand, if you say you saw a lot of bad news, this means that is negative news. But for information, if you say bad information, it means it's wrong.
Okay.
It's not correct, right?
Something correct. Okay.
Yes. So for information, it will be negative. For news, it can be bad. And the pronunciation of headaches sounds like headaches.
Headache. Headaches.
Headaches.
Headaches. Okay. Thank you.
Headaches. No problem. And what about you, Daniel? Did you know you had, well, you also didn't know you had burnout, right? When you got it. Or did you know about it?
About this topic,
Yes.
burnout. Yeah, that is a well, some maybe trending topic nowadays. I
Right.
don't know. Since a few years ago, that is a really normal topic. I think so. I consider that star in Japan or those countries in that part of the world. I'm not sure, but as far as I know, people in there have a lot of responsibilities in the job. I mean, many activities with the really hard schedule. And well, maybe in that part start this, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But then, well, suddenly this happened in the entire world. I don't know why.
Yes, yes. Okay. So you knew you were experiencing burnout when you experienced it? I mean, at that time?
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
Oh, well, unfortunately, I suffer before these problems that I told you. I suffer some episodes uh, about anxiety. I don't know why. Actually, I at that time I needed to take a therapy for this problem. And when well, over time, I suffered these episodes, well, burnout. Um, I was a little bit, mm, I don't know how to say this, but I knew it. I knew it this in advance. I mean, symptoms, some problems about breathe or things like that. I knew it. I knew it. Yeah.
Okay, you can also say I knew it beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
In advance is also beforehand. Okay.
Beforehand. Okay. So,
Okay. What about you, Maricruz? Well, I don't know if you ever experienced it, but if you have, did you know it was burnout?
I guess yes, maybe 2 years ago. I guess I experienced the most near to the nearest to burnout. I I wasn't diagnosticated like burnout, but I guess is very similar. When I was working in a hospital and in a school, I have two jobs at the same time, and I work in the hospital at night and in the school during the day, and I slept really few hours. And I remember I felt very bad because physically I was very tired. I was very anxious and with a lot of stress, and I didn't eat very well, and I lost a lot of hair, and I gained weight because my schedules and my natural circadian um, rhythm
Rin.
Rhythm.
was
Rhythm.
very
Mm.
very disturbed, and I guess is when I felt maybe the burnout because I worked a lot of hours and I didn't rest very well. But at the time I didn't know the term burnout. I didn't know at the time. I when I into my jobs, I started to serve the term in social media, in videos, or with a lot of influencers, because the term is now very very common, but at that time when the pandemic was in just in the middle of the pandemic, it was only beginning the the influence of the term. And yes, when I know the symptoms, I say, oh yes, I guess maybe I felt that burnout when I was working in that jobs.
In those jobs. Those jobs.
Yes.
Okay, yes, it happened. Well, as well for me. I didn't know until years later, like, oh, that's why I was so stressed, right? Well, you at a point in your life you realize that something is wrong, right? Um, just some feedback for you, Marie Cruz. I wasn't diagnosed, and the topic was just spreading. When a topic starts to become trend, it means that it's spreading, right? Okay, I also have another question for you. Let me show you my screen. This is from the video. The video uses well, the video tells a really interesting link between productivity and self-identity, right? I think she's a psychologist. Yes, I think she's a psychologist, and she links the idea of productivity and self-identity. What do you imagine she's talking about? Linking productivity with self-identity. What do you
Mm,
understand from that question?
Mm,
I guess is it could be a problem because in some cases people just link the productivity with not only self identity
Identity.
but the self value, and people think that if they aren't enough productivity there enough productivity, maybe they um mm, they were used by others, or maybe they could consider maybe a lazy person, and it is related with the identity of the person, and it could affect the how do you say autoestima?
The self-esteem.
The self-esteem of the person, and I guess it's a problem because the productivity of a person is not the only one thing that defines that person, and I guess it is the reason that maybe could be a problem.
mhm. Okay. Yes. And I think that linking is a problem or of nowadays because in the I can say social narrativity. By example, the persons with the success persons are always doing something, always in product doing product activities that produce something like uh, like like mm, pop famous persons like Elon Musk or Bill Gates or uh, persons in that way, no? That they always produce, yeah, and produce and produce, and but that is I think that is a wrong idea or a fallacy. I can say a fallacy. Uh, because if uh, if we linking the productivity with self identity, uh, when and I think Maricruz say it, when we take a rest or a downtime, the the guilty the guilty can be can, how can I say impedir disfrutar?
Hey,
Um,
the guilt can prevent you from the
okay,
guilt can prevent you from enjoying.
okay. The guilty can prevent from enjoy that time, and that and that sometimes I how can I say eso a veces me pasa.
And that sometimes happens to me.
Okay, and that sometimes happens to me when well I feel that every in I feel that every time I need to doing something productivity like learning, study, or something like that. Even by example, in my weekends, I learn, I study, I programming more. And when I don't do that things, I feel really bad. in my mind, I feel that I don't, how can I say aprovechando?
I feel that I am not You can say making the most
Take
of
advantage.
or taking advantage.
Okay, that I don't taking advantage of that time, and I feel bad. Yes.
Okay. Let me give you as well. Yes, that happens, right? What can you say about it, Daniel?
Well, actually, it's a really deep question. I I don't know how to answer this even in Spanish because it's really deep. This thing. I mean, self-identity. Oh my God, that sounds really um, I don't know, complicated. Try to explain this even in Spanish. But I just understand here that when you try to create something, well, you have to have the things that, well, obviously that at least in my case, as a software engineer, as Fernando, I remember that Fernando is a software engineer too. You need to understand the problem. You need to understand what the technology is. Well, that is the first step. Things like that. But um, I consider that um, in a certain point, you need to have um, well, first of all, you need to have rules at the beginning. That is a good that is a something really good. If you are working in a company, most of the time this company have rules in order to create a new program. You have to follow some rules in there, some policies, things like that. But at the end, the code is yours. It's your code. It's your ideas. It's the things that you create in your mind and your brain works in order to solve something, things like that. Um, I think that it's complicated. Try to create something always without a leisure time, or you need to have this time for you. As I said before, uh, something really deep. Create a software too. It's complicated in a certain point. That's happened to me. I am cutting something, and I don't understand why, but sometimes your brain is tired and you have to take a nap or just watch some videos in Facebook or social medias, whatever. And in that moment, you need to stop this process. And I don't know what happened in your brain. Something happened, and suddenly, when you start again with this, you have the answer. Oh, hey, yeah, for sure, this is the answer. This is something really obvious. I don't know why, but I couldn't see this. And well, you need to do and to be a efficient person for sure, but you need to have these gaps in your schedule. I remember that there is a technique, the Pomodoro technique, and I remember that topic because I saw this topic in different uh, English classes. Um, I remember that this is something more or less about it, and well, it works for me at least. Well, that is my opinion. I don't know if this is something accurate or not about this question, but well, that is the only thing that I have in my mind.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Thank you. Yes, that's what I was trying to create with this question to really see your perspectives, right? Like what is the link that you see between them, right? And I think it's also a very when I saw the video, it really impressed me, that idea that we sometimes link our productivity with our self-esteem, right? And I was thinking to myself the same, that I feel guilty if I'm not, if I'm taking a day off, right? Or if I'm resting a few hours, because I have many,
Uh,
many things to do, many responsibilities. And
can I say something?
yes.
I'm sorry, but yeah, for sure. That happened mm, a lot of in some cases, and well, I'm sure that Fernando understand that the things that I explained to you. I mean, in a certain point, you feel that you can do this activity. I don't know. You are watching some code, or you need to resolve something about a in a loops or something like that, or in a front end or back end or service or database or queries, things like that, and you can do that, and you think, oh my god, I can't do that, and I think that I don't deserve this job. I don't deserve this job because I can resolve this, and I know that other people can create something amazing, but not me. And that happened in many cases with many programmers around the world. That is something normal, I think so, unfortunately, but it's something true.
Mhm.
Oh, it's interesting. And I think not only for programmers, I think that we are always, as professionals, we have a lot of competition around.
Mm.
So it's always in your mind, like, oh, if I don't perform well, someone is gonna replace me, someone that is working harder. And I think that's part of the problem, that we don't have a limit, right? And companies don't have a limit either.
Mm.
They can also fire you if they see that you're not fulfilling those expectations. So I think it's part of that company's culture as well. They don't give the employee that security or that trust sometimes, right?
Yes, and I guess is since you are studying at the university, many teachers says no, your effort is enough. You need to study more. You need to do more things. You are wasting your time, and you really believe that things that if you are maybe only resting or doing something um, that is not related with your study or with now with your job, you are a lazy person or you are not going to achieve your goals or something like that. And yes,
Mm.
I guess it's a very hard problem that in my case started when I was a student.
Yes, it's also cultural. I think it's also cultural. Um, I think it's part of our culture as employees and the culture companies have. It's part of that. We have like a culture of exploitation, of employee exploitation most of the times.
Um,
Um,
can I participate again,
yes,
please?
go ahead.
Well, well, as I said before, nowadays I have this mood. I'm in my home working, and that is well, actually, right now I'm in Chiapas, but I live in Mexico City. But I'm here. But the problem with this mode, with this new era for us, I think that I don't know why, but I always a thing in my mind that I need to do something about my job, always. But this didn't happen before. I mean, you had your time in order to drink a coffee, a cup of coffee. You talk with your friends. You had that time, and nowadays you don't have this time. I don't know why, and I feel guilty I feel that when I take 5 minutes for me, and I take my phone and I rest in my bed, I feel that kind of feeling. I don't know why. I
Yes.
am in my home, but I feel that this company is offered to me this opportunity, and it's really huge, and it's something that maybe I don't deserve. And I don't know. This mindset is a little bit unusual,
Yes.
I think.
Uh, I think that is not unusual because I happens to me. I feel that I produce I use my time in something productive. Yes.
Right. And I think part of the problem is that sometimes a we don't have maybe a limit on tasks assigned. Sometimes is that as well, especially when you're working for a company and your position is based on projects. You don't really have a way to measure your productivity until you get the results, right? So I think that's part of the thing there as well, that it can take you a lot of time to fulfill just a task. And yeah, I think it's part of that, at least in my experience, when I was working for customer service or for other companies, we didn't have a limit either. Like the most productive is the one that gets the bonus. And we are all going to base your productivity on the top producer, right? Maybe the top producer was on drugs or something, because he could perform like wow, like he was not even human. And we don't know that. The company tells, oh, that's just amazing, but maybe that person is not healthy at all, or is not having a good time. And I think that's part of it. I don't know, that's one of the sides of it, right?
Right.
But
It's
Yeah,
hard.
because
It's hard.
it's not normal to be workaholic. And
yes.
I
Mhm.
guess in this context to the companies and wherever, people say, "Oh, I am workaholic," but like a good,
Like
Yes.
they are proud
As
of
a
it, right?
something good.
yes,
Yes.
yes, with,
Hmm.
but I guess it's
You're
a
proud.
very bad
Yes.
situation. Yes, but the people say very happy, and I guess showing off that. And yes, I guess it reflect the problem.
Mm.
Yes. Yes, it is. But okay, we will have to finish up here. I recommend that you watch this video. This slide is already the slides are already on our chat. So if you get into the slides, you will see the link for the video. And yeah, it's very interesting. And we can continue discussing about it maybe in a different way on future sessions. But thank you so much for participating. I will create a poll next time uh, for new topics. I'm planning on sending a poll hours before our session so that you can choose it beforehand and so that I can prepare it. Sometimes I will post the poll. Some other times I will let you choose directly on the class. And remember that you can always suggest new topics for discussion. Okay.
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 Okay. Well, thank you guys for coming. I will see you next week.
Thank you.
Okay, see you. Have a
See
good night.
you next week.
Bye bye, guys.
Good
Bye.
night.